Greetings, everyone. This is Vakar Korvi from TFT Perspective, and today we're going to talk about Afghanistan and two major meetings or conferences which were held recently at international regional level, in which Afghanistan was taken to task, the Taliban government, and very clearly asked to shut down the factories of terrorism. I think the first meeting took place basically in form of the quadrilateral meeting between Pakistan, China, Russia, and Iran. This was held in New York on the sidelines of UN General Assembly session on 27th September. And next was, of course, the Moscow format, which has just taken place in Moscow in October. Now, if you look at the joint statement of the first quadrilateral meeting, which was issued later on. One, it debunks the claims by the Afghan Taliban that was not harboring any terrorist groups, including the TTP. Because in this meeting, very clearly names were mentioned of the organization that Afghan Taliban have to shut down. Contrary to the interim government's claim, statement expressed serious concerns over the presence of several terrorist groups in Afghanistan. It was mentioned ISIL, Al-Qaeda, the Eastern Turkestan Islamic Movement or the ETIM, Tariq-e-Taliban Pakistan, Jaish-ul-Adl, Balochistan Liberation Army and smaller groups including Majid Brigade. So if you look at three of these which affect Pakistan directly, TTP, Majid Brigade and BLA, Jaish-ul-Adl of course affects Iran and ETIM affects China, and we've seen ISIL and Al-Qaeda basically trying to hit even Russia. So all the regional countries who are supposed to be Afghanistan's neighbors and friends are not only worried but basically taking Afghanistan to the cleaners. What they want is a common, comprehensive, cooperative and sustainable security. And this has been asked. One, of course, the overall framework in which these countries can help. But main thing is the Afghan government has to now control these. These four countries called on strengthening counter-terrorism cooperation at both bilateral and multilateral levels. Afghanistan should be supported in taking comprehensive measures to address both the symptoms and the root causes of terrorism and to eradicate terrorism at an early stage. Now, if you look at the demand, it was visible and verifiable actions. So it means it's not going to be just, Taliban government, passing some funny statements or some of their diplomats saying that nothing is happening. It is basically visible and verifiable actions in fulfilling the international obligations and commitment made by the Afghanistan to fight terrorism, dismantle and eliminate all terrorist groups equally and non-discriminatory, and prevent the use of Afghan territory against its neighbors. Now, if you look at the resistance within Afghanistan, is also a matter of concern. The National Resistance Front, which is basically led by Ahmad Massoud, the son of Ahmad Shah Massoud, is now giving a tough time, and we've seen that they have carried out almost more than 200 operations, and they claim that there about 5,000 soldiers are involved in it. So it means that Afghanistan is also now facing an internal revolt. We also find that 20 million plus women are locked in their houses, which is again a cause of concern for international community. Unfortunately, the Taliban feel that probably they can get away with it. Now, if you look at the second important meeting, and I'll just go through the joint statement by the participants of Moscow Format Consultation on Afghanistan, which was issued on 4th October in Moscow. On 4th October, the sixth meeting of the Moscow Format Consultation on Afghanistan was held in Moscow at the level of special representatives and senior officials from China, India, Iran, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Pakistan, Russia, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. So again, this is a very huge number of regional countries, and if you look at their geography, they generally surround Afghanistan, and they are also well-wishers of Afghanistan. These are the countries who always supported Afghan people and any government which came, but they are also now fed up with the Taliban's denial of terrorism. The delegation headed by acting Foreign Minister of Afghanistan participated. So it means that although Mr. Muttaqi was called in as a guest of honor, as it has been mentioned in the media, but I think he was given quite a spanking. And it's not to really humiliate the Taliban government, but I think it is to apprise them that I think they need to walk the talk. The parties expressed deep concern over the security situation related to terrorism in Afghanistan. noting that all terrorist and separatist groups based in Afghanistan continue to pose a serious threat to global and regional security. And they also called for strengthening counterterrorism cooperation at both bilateral and regional level. Afghanistan should be supported in taking comprehensive measures. They called on de facto authorities to take visible and verifiable actions, something very similar to what was mentioned in the quadrilateral meeting. Fulfilling the international obligations and commitment made by the Afghanistan government to fight terrorism, dismantle and eliminate all terrorist groups. So they are asking them to dismantle these factories. Uh, Equally and non-discriminatory and prevent the use of wanted against its neighbors. Although I think one concession was given to Afghanistan that Russia has taken one Taliban to the list of terrorist entities, but I think if Muttaqi Saab has some, out of let's say love for Afghanistan and the region and the Afghan Taliban, I think they should listen to call from this important format. There are a lot of things happening around. We are now going to have SCO's heads of government summit in Pakistan on 15, followed by BRICS. So it's basically the entire Eurasia is getting on board, and Afghanistan and terrorism becoming a major issue. Now, if Taliban feels that they can browbeat everybody in the region and still expect that diplomatically they should be received nicely, they should also get the benefit of geographic connectivity, economic, regional prosperity and security. I think they are living in a fool's paradise. They have to actually get integrated in the system. We already have serious tension in the Middle East, and terrorism as a tool of policy is not going to work. So my advice to Taliban should be to at least listen to their friends. We are not your enemies. Basically, terrorism cannot work. Pakistan cannot be kept bleeding. Iran cannot be kept bleeding. You can't have attacks happening in Moscow blamed at Kabul, or you support ETIM and you still think that you can hoodwink the entire world. It will not be possible. Thank you very much.